Hello everyone, this is Jasmina, and in this video I'm going to talk about the Sun and Moon arrival dates, not necessarily for just this month, but in general. Now, they basically allow you to safely do renovations or place mitigations in a more strong fashion, or move into a place that is affected by annual afflictions in a negative way. So all these things it's useful for, and I have a separate video that talks about that in great detail. Now, the most of the way you use it is you start a renovation on an area without an annual affliction during the Sun and Moon arrival dates. You can then, even that same day, move to an area with an annual affliction, and you do not activate the annual affliction. So it's sort of a pre-mitigation. It keeps the annual affliction from being activated. Now, you don't need to finish a renovation within the Sun and Moon arrival dates, which are only about 2 weeks long, but you need to start during those periods. And as long as you keep the renovation going, you're good. And in the protection lasts until, at least until the next Sun and Moon arrival date, and usually until the construction or renovation is finished. Now, if it's a sector, just one sector of your house, and you can wait till next year when the annual affliction is not present, it is easier to do. If then you don't have to do timings and be so picky about it. But it's not necessary if you can do it use the Sun and Moon arrival dates appropriately. Now, you can also use these dates to mitigate annual activations, past activations of annual afflictions. It's much stronger. Now, you can still do the mitigation right after you've activated it, but then again, the next Sun and Moon arrival date, redo the mitigation. It makes it much stronger. And it's also important for moving into a residence that has a facing or a sitting uh, direction that is in an annual affliction, because moving in generally gives birth to the house. And so, and we're talking to a new house, or even just moving into an old house. It still is important. You want to not do that during when it has an annual affliction, unless you can do it in the Sun and Moon arrival dates. And of course, you have to avoid clash days for people in the family. Now, awareness of the day pillar, that is the pillar of the day we're living in, when you want to do something, that's necessary to avoid starting a renovation or moving in, mitigation of a clash, of a activation. You want to avoid a clash day for everybody in the household's year animal sign and the month animal sign of the working adults. Now, you'll have two others. You'll have a day in your Batsa and an hour in your Batsa. Those can be sacrificed if necessary. Now, of course, if you can avoid everybody's four animal signs, that's best, but it's sometimes not possible. So focus on the year for everybody and the month and year for the working adults. So now the Prokur Allah website and many other places that have tongshu's will list the day animal, and this particular one, the website is free, so use it. You just the day animal is what will be listed in the Prokur Allah here in white, and you look at your animal signs of the people living in your house and see if they are in the yellow. If they're in the yellow, you have a clash. And again, really, it's the year animal for everybody and the month and year for the working adults. So you just avoid using that particular day to start it. You can keep working during a clash day. You just don't want to start on a clash day. So now I'm no longer going to be giving detailed list of houses that have the annual Sun and Moon arrival dates, because I have a cheap resource for you to do this for yourself. It's at the present time it's $1.50. It's very cheap, and it's good forever, and for any residence that has a definitive facing direction. Doesn't care. I don't care what period the house is. I don't care what period we're living in. This chart is good forever. So you only have to buy it once. Now, there will be a bit of a possibility of the actual day changing a little bit than what I have listed on the thing that's for sale. We'll be changing it every year, but you don't need to buy it because I'll also be listing the solar terms, those dates on this channel, or and I also will include that probably as a free thing that you can get from the coffee store every um, every year, so that you have the dates that you need. And you can look even farther ahead than I will be listing by going to the Hong Kong Observatory website. It has, this is where I get the data, and it has it down to the minute. And this is, you would have to, if you want to use that first day of one of these things, you do have to look at the exact time and convert it to your local time, because the Hong Kong Observatory, of course, uses their local time. So again, you can have a day or two vary, but if you're using the middle part of the period, from year to year, you'll always be good because it doesn't vary enough that it makes a difference. And I'm going to be renewing the dates on the product for every year, just so that it's current for every year. But you can actually find out this information way ahead of time at the Hong Kong Observatory website. You just search for Hong Kong Observatory solar terms, and it should be the first thing on the listed. Now, you do not need to buy the product every year. Please don't. I will have a separate thing available with the dates every year, and that will be free. And I also will have the dates here. Of course, once I close my business, because I'm old enough to retire right now, you can still use the Hong Kong Observatory website and get the dates. And so that will be, as long as Hong Kong exists, it should be in existence. So this is basically what you're going to get if you buy that product. You'll get a ring that looks a lot like this. The dates might vary depending what year you buy it, but it will have, this is something you would be printing out on a sheet of paper. And then you have another page that has this, which you print out on a transparency, and you line up the two crosshairs and you rotate this one until it lines up with whatever your facing direction is. So you do have to know the facing direction of your house with certainty. And this is using the true north, not the compass, because compasses can be way off. And I have a video that has a lot of information exactly how to use this and some examples so you can see how to use it. And it's entitled Revisit of the Sun and Moon Arrival Dates. So I will, of course, remind everybody where the annual afflictions are every year. And I have, in case they get activated, and sometimes that's not your fault, it could be your neighbors doing it. I have two sets of videos that tell you how to mitigate it if, for some reason, an annual affliction is activated. So that's it. I'm kind of sorry to say I'm not going to be doing this, but I have, now that I'm doing a lot of date selection and putting up those dates every month, I don't really have time to do this too. And I have more dates coming along, so it's only going to get worse. So I really just don't have time for this. Sorry. But thank you for watching.